Yes, sir.
Good evening, everyone. It's time to begin the Huntington City Council meeting for Monday, December 28th, 2020. Tonight, the invocation will be led by Minister Sherry Simpkins of the I Am Ministries, and I will have the honor of leading us in the pledge. Would you please rise and uncover?
Father God, we just come before you, Lord, and we're just so thankful for your presence. So thankful for Jesus. So thankful for the leaders of this community, the city council, Lord, that served us. Father, for the ones coming in, Lord, I ask that you bless them tonight. I ask that you bless them abundantly, open their eyes, give them eyes to see and ears to hear. I ask, Lord, that your will be done in their lives, Father, for them, for their families, for our community, Lord. We just give Huntington to you and bless you in Jesus' name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Miller, good evening. Would you call the roll, please?
Yes, sir. Mr. Bates,
Here.
Ms. Clark, Ms. Clark,
Here.
thank you. Ms. Howe,
Here.
Mr. Klemper, Mr. McComas, Mr. McComas, absent. Mr. McGuffin,
Here.
Ms. Page,
Here.
Ms. Poland,
Here.
Bishop Shaw,
Here.
Mr. Shockley,
Here.
Ms. Wheeler,
Here.
thank you.
Okay, we do have a quorum. Item 3 is the synopsis of the last meeting.
Mr. Chairman, I move for the adoption.
Okay, Mr. Shockley moves, and Mr. Klemper seconds. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, Ms. Miller, call the roll, please.
On the synopsis, item number 3, Ms. Page,
Yes.
Ms. Poland,
Yes.
Bishop Shaw,
Yes.
Mr. Shockley,
Yes.
Ms. Wheeler,
Yes.
Ms. Clark, Ms. Clark,
Yes.
Ms. Howe,
Yes.
Mr. Klemper, Mr. McComas is absent. Mr. McGuffin,
Yes.
Mr. Bates,
Yes, and the synopsis is approved. Item 4 are the reports to the mayor. Mr. Mayor, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members. Just a reminder that City Hall will be closed on Friday, January 1st in observance of New Year's Day. Household garbage will be on a normal schedule Monday through December 31st. Friday garbage service will be delayed one day, running on Saturday, January 2nd. The Public Works Department has established 6 free drop-off locations for Christmas trees. St. Cloud's Commons Upper Parking Lot, the Harris Riverfront Park Upper Parking Lot, Altizer Community Park, former Olympic pool site along Memorial Boulevard, the Dietz Hollow drop-off site in Guyandotte, and the parking lot of the old League Six baseball field on Ferguson Road. Mr. Chairman, if I could take a moment of personal privilege during this time. It's been an absolute joy serving with all of you. This is difficult to say goodbye to so many. There are only two who are going to be returning next year. Bishop Shaw will be able to cite specifically where this was cited in the scriptures, but the Apostle Paul, I believe, in his writing to the church at Philippi, said that I give thanks for every thought of you. And I have been unbelievably blessed by being able to serve with each of you as a group this term. You're a living example, those of you who came in on January 1st, 2017, and considering what was happening immediately after you came aboard and the drama that was taking place within these chambers and outside the building, you're a living example of why we have 4-year terms and not 6-month terms. We made hard decisions that had been avoided for decades. But the wisdom of those decisions are now being shown because our pensions are funded fully at a level that has never been funded before. Our health care costs are under control. We're paving streets and fixing sidewalks that we receive reports from individuals that have not been paved in over 40 years or ever paved at all. But our work is far from complete. And frankly, I think that's just life of working within city government. When people come to congregate and live in a community, and they, in moving into that community, determined to have a social contract with one another, that by living together in common unity, they create community. Some of you I've served with for just a matter of months. Mr. Chairman, we've served together for 12 years. Whether it's been months or decades, know as you leave here, you leave with my thanks and knowing that you have a very, very special place in my heart. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your friendship. And I trust that this is not goodbye, but we will see each other later and find other means through which we can serve again. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Chairman,
Ms. Miller.
a token of our appreciation
Oh, wow.
for all the time you've served.
Oh, wow.
You've been with, we have had a tradition over the years to give the outgoing chairman a gift. Well, we've had to wait a long time to get you out of that seat. 9 years.
Wow.
And just a token of our appreciation.
Should I
You will be
open it?
missed.
Do you want me to open it now?
Yeah.
There are scissors in the,
I know there are probably folks at home who want to know what's in this box, so,
everybody wants to know. There are only two of us who do,
oh, wow.
One's not here.
and one's not here.
One's
She's
not here.
probably watching.
What's in home?
You see, I made it green and white. Don't look at the inside.
Oh, I see it's red inside. Oh, wow.
Oh, for love.
Well, they've done an excellent job wrapping this up, I can tell you. Okay, I'll make the mess here. Y'all aren't making this easy, are you? Wow. Oh, wow. Thank you so much. Well, that was unexpected. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You want to read what it says?
It says City of Huntington, Mark A. Bates, Huntington City Council, 2009 to 2020. Council Chairman, 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, and 2020.
Sounds like it was written by Shay Street.
Yeah, it sounds like a planning and zoning code that was just written. Well, thank you so much, and I was going to save something for good and welfare, but I'll just go ahead and say it now, that to my constituents, thank you for the honor to serve you the last 12 years. It's been my honor to sit here to represent you, and to my colleagues, those that are here, those that are on the phone tonight, those who we have served with in the past, and a few of them have gone on that have been good inspirations to this guy. Thank you for your trust in me to lead the body and to do the business of the people, as I like to say, and that we do it together, and we've always done it together, and we've worked as a team. Mr. Mayor, thank you for your kind words earlier. It's been a joy to serve with you. We've been through a lot of valleys, and we've climbed some mountains together, and we are seeing a city that is financially responsible and paying its bills on time, and as you spoke about pensions and whatnot being current, so being good fiscal stewards of the citizens' money. And I challenge the new groups coming in to do the same. But thank you again for the honor of service. Thank you again. Okay.
Tissues.
We'll move on to item 5, the second reading of an ordinance 2020-040. Ms. Miller.
An ordinance of council amending, modifying, and reenacting Article 1739 of the codified ordinances of the City of Huntington as revised concerning the official building code of the City of Huntington.
Ms. Clark.
Mr. Chair, I move for the adoption.
I'll second.
Ms. Clark has moved and Mr. Shockley has seconded. Mr. Dameron's here to speak to us about the item.
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Dameron.
Now for the real excitement, right? This ordinance is, item 5 is to change the state code reference in our ordinances to comply with the change that was made in the 2020 state legislative session regarding the assessment and collection of costs for the demolition of dwellings or buildings pursuant to the Unsafe Building Commission ordinance. And it's also to provide more leeway for the recording of liens after the demolition of the unsafe buildings. Instead of 90 days, the city manager would have the authority to extend the time period as he sees fit, so that we could achieve some efficiencies in getting the liens together and done at the same time. Under the old ordinance, we had 90 days from the time any remediation work was done. So sometimes the building wasn't all the way down, but the 90 days would start to run, and we have to get the notice out and get it recorded, and it was a very tight time frame. So that's why we're introducing this ordinance in addition to the housekeeping of changing the code reference.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. Dameron on the item of members present? Ms. Poland?
To follow up on what we talked about in the work session, which was the variable time frame, and I understand that sometimes things aren't down and there needs to be time. In my mind, I'm divided right now because this is to comply with state code. Does the state code, as it's rewritten, have a variable time frame in place?
It doesn't have any time frame set.
So that's us separate from the rest of it, bringing us up to state.
Correct, correct.
I think with that said, I won't be able to support it, Mr. Dameron, because I believe that things have to have a beginning and an end, but thank you for answering my question.
Okay, well, I mean, we're not wed to that. If you want to put, as authorized by the city manager, not to exceed 180 days or something like that. And I'll remind you that when there's a judgment entered, there's 2 years, 10 years to record a lien. So we need more time than we have.
Any other questions, members present? Those members calling in have any questions for Mr. Dameron on the item, Ms. Clark, or Ms. Howe, Mr. McGuffin, Ms. Page, Ms. Wheeler?
No.
No.
I have none.
Okay. The Administration and Finance Committee did meet on this item and does send to full council with a favorable recommendation. Ms. Miller, was there any public comment submitted for this item?
No, sir.
Okay. Seeing that there's no further discussion, Ms. Miller, would you call the roll?
Item number 5, yes, sir. Ms. Poland?
I'm going to vote no.
Bishop Shaw? Yes. Mr. Shockley?
Yes.
Ms. Wheeler?
Yes.
Ms. Clark?
Yes.
Ms. Howe?
Yes.
Mr. Klemper?
Yes.
Mr. McComas? Absent. Mr. McGuffin?
Yes.
Ms. Page?
No.
Oh, wrong. Correct that. And Mr. Bates?
Yes, and the ordinance is approved. Item 6 is the second reading of an ordinance 2020-041. Ms. Miller.
An ordinance of council amending, modifying, and reenacting Part 13, Articles 1315, 1317, 1320, 1333, and 1334 of the codified ordinances of the City of Huntington as revised concerning planning and zoning code.
Mr. Chairman, I move for the adoption.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded by Ms. Poland. Mr. Straight is here to speak to us. Mr. Straight.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and members of council. This ordinance here is to finalize the updates for the passage of the 2 new industrial zoning districts within the City of Huntington. These changes include updates to the definitions primarily pertaining to industrial uses, a clear classification of the different types of zoning districts within the establishment of the districts article, adjustments to the permitted use chart, both removing permitted and conditionally permitted uses from the industrial districts and putting them into this chart, the same as the rest of the districts operate, as well as some minor amendments to the permitted use chart. And then finally amending both the light industrial and commercial district and the heavy industrial district to be in the same format as the remainder of the zoning ordinance, finalizing these updates. If there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Okay. Questions for Mr. Straight, members present? Any questions, members present? I'll go to those calling in, Ms. Clark, Howe, Mr. McGuffin, Ms. Page, and Ms. Wheeler, if you have any questions.
No.
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 Okay. Ms. Wheeler, do you have a committee report on this item?
Thank you, Chairman. Yes, both the Planning Commission as well as the Planning and Zoning Committee of City Council met and forwarded this to full council with a favorable recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Wheeler. Ms. Miller, was there any public comment on this item?
No, sir.
Okay. Seeing that there's no additional comments to be made, would you call the roll, please?
Item number 6, yes, sir. Bishop Shaw. Yes. Mr. Shockley.
Yes.
Ms. Wheeler.
Yes.
Ms. Clark.
Yes.
Ms. Howe.
Yes.
Mr. Klemper.
Yes.
Mr. McComas. Absent. Mr. McGuffin.
Yes.
Ms. Page.
No.
Ms. Poland.
Yes.
Mr. Bates.
Yes, and the ordinance is approved. Item 7 is the second reading of an ordinance, 2020-042. Ms. Miller?
An ordinance of council amending, modifying, and reenacting Part 13, Articles 1321, 1323, and 1325 of the codified ordinances of the City of Huntington as revised concerning planning and zoning code.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move for adoption.
I'll second.
It's been moved by Bishop Shaw and seconded by Mr. Shockley. Mr. Straight, welcome back.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of council. This will be my last ordinance I present to you all, so appreciate you taking it easy on me tonight. So with this ordinance here is the amendments to all 4 of our residential districts, amending the rules for parking locations on private property. Those amendments are for all 4 districts, with the greater leniency being in the R1 and R2 districts, and the more the more standardized with the less exceptions for the R4 and R5 districts, which, as we know, have duplexes and also multifamily units. This will be consolidating the parking standards across a multitude of sources, including office policy, current supplemental regulations, and other documents within our office, simply just directly into the districts themselves, along with codifying long-standing policy we've had in our office. In addition, these changes here are directly requested from the comprehensive plan, marking that item off for our to-do list as well. So if there are any questions for this ordinance, I'd be happy to answer.
Okay, members present, any questions for Mr. Straight on the item? No questions. The members calling in, Ms. Clark, Howe, Mr. McGuffin, Ms. Page, Ms. Wheeler, any questions for Mr. Straight on the item?
No.
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 Okay. Ms. Wheeler, do you have a committee report for me?
Yes, thank you, Chairman Bates. Both the Planning Commission and then also followed by the Planning Committee, Planning and Zoning Committee of City Council met and reviewed this item. Both bodies forward this with a favorable recommendation to full council.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Ms. Miller, was there any public comment on this item submitted?
No, sir.
Okay. That being said, would you please call the roll?
Item number 7, Mr. Shockley.
Yes.
Ms. Wheeler.
Yes.
Ms. Clark.
Yes.
Ms. Howe.
Yes.
Mr. Klemper.
Yes.
Mr. McGuffin, or excuse me, McComas is absent. Mr. McGuffin.
Yes.
Ms. Page.
No.
Ms. Poland.
No.
Bishop Shaw. Mr. Bates?
Yes, and the ordinance is approved. Item 8 is the second reading in ordinance 2020-043. Ms. Miller.
An ordinance of council of the City of Huntington, creating and enacting a new article, or as Article 188, establishing the Huntington Building Commission.
Mr. Chairman, I move for the adoption.
Second.
Mr. Shockley moves and Bishop Shaw seconds. Mr. Mayor, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. This is for the creation of a building commission to provide the city one more arrow in the quiver in order to accomplish public projects that it's seeking to construct or finance. Presently, we have the Huntington Municipal Development Authority. We also have the Urban Renewal Authority. Their plates are particularly full, and with some of the things that we're contemplating pursuing in the next years, we're not sure if the building commission would be what we would need to put into effect, but this is something that at least gives us an option that we think would assist us in what we're attempting to accomplish.
Any questions for the mayor on the item? Those members present? Questions? Ms. Clark, Ms. Howe, Ms. Page, Ms. Wheeler, or Mr. McGuffin, do you have any questions for the mayor on the item?
No. No. No.
No question.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Administration and Finance Committee did meet on this and did send to full council with a favorable recommendation. Ms. Miller, was there any public comment submitted for this item?
No, sir.
Okay. That being said, would you call the roll, please?
Item number 8, Ms. Wheeler?
Yes.
Ms. Clark?
No.
Ms. Howe?
Yes.
Mr. Klemper?
Yes.
Mr. McComas? Absent. Mr. McGuffin?
Yes.
Ms. Page?
Yes.
Ms. Poland?
Yes.
Bishop Shaw?
Yes.
Mr. Shockley?
Yes.
Mr. Bates?
Yes. And the ordinance is approved. Item 9 is the second reading of ordinance 2020-044. Ms. Miller.
An ordinance of council approving the transfer of 2 previously reserved utility easements from the City of Huntington to the Huntington Municipal Development Authority.
Mr. Chair, I move for adoption.
I'll second.
Mr. Klemper moves and Mr. Shockley seconds. Mr. Dameron's here to talk to us about it. Mr. Dameron.
Sir, item 9 is an ordinance that approves the transfer of 2 utility easements currently existing on the old 6th Avenue right-of-way that was abandoned behind the 20th Street Fire Station. Currently on those easements are part of the old plasma donation building. A developer who bought the Burger King property also wants to buy that property, and it needs the easements to complete its project. The easements do not contain any utilities. We also checked with the sanitary board. They do not contain any of their utilities. The process would be to transfer the easement interest to HMDA, and then HMDA could transfer it to the owner.
Any questions for Mr. Dameron on the item? Members present? Okay, those calling in Ms. Clark, Howe, Page, Wheeler, or Mr. McGuffin, any questions on the item?
No.
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 Okay.
No.
The Administration and Finance Committee did meet and did forward this to full council with a favorable recommendation. Ms. Miller, was there any public comment for this item?
No, sir.
Okay, that being said, would you call the roll, please?
Item number 9, Ms. Clark?
Yes.
Ms. Howe,
Yes.
Mr. Klemper,
Yes.
Mr. McComas is absent. Mr. McGuffin,
Yes.
Ms. Page,
Yes.
Ms. Poland,
Yes.
Bishop Shaw,
Yes.
Mr. Shockley,
Yes.
Ms. Wheeler,
Yes.
Mr. Bates.
Yes, and the ordinance is approved. We'll move on to resolutions. Number 10 is Resolution 2020 R84. Ms. Miller.
A resolution of council authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract to furnish the city of Huntington with a disinfecting system.
Mr. Chairman, I move for the adoption.
Mr. Chairman, I'll second the motion.
It's been moved by Mr. Shockley and seconded by Bishop Shaw. Livingston's here to speak to us.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Council. Resolution 2020-R-84, a contract to furnish the city with a disinfecting system. It'll be purchased one Curus portable disinfecting system. It to be purchased from DAI Scientific out of Muddleston, Illinois. This purchase was a bid. We only received one proposal. The total cost will be $37,958.82. It'll be to be paid from the capital outlay other improvements budget line. This system is to disinfect city vehicles and small office areas. It will it will be kept at the city garage where all city departments may have access to it. We learned about this system through Gordon Marriott, Cabell County EMS. We will seek reimbursement on the purchase if it is allowed in the future. The device is a small enough device to sit in the back seat of a cruiser or another vehicle. Once in a litmus or a piece of paper will be placed on the dashboard. Once it's turned on, and that piece of paper turns color, we'll know the vehicle is disinfected. Once that is, it'll be aired out for a short period of time and go from there.
Any questions for Mr. Livingston on the item from members present? No one? Those calling in, Ms. Clark, Howe, Page,
No.
Wheeler. Mr. McGuffin, any comment?
No. No. No.
Okay. The Administration and Finance Committee did meet on this item and did send to full council a favorable recommendation. Ms. Miller, was there any public comment on this item?
No, sir.
Okay then, would you call the roll?
Item number 10. Ms. Howe,
Yes.
Mr. Klemper,
Yes.
Mr. McComas, absent. Mr. McGuffin,
Yes.
Ms. Page,
Yes.
Ms. Poland. Pardon?
Yes.
Thank you. Bishop Shaw,
Yes.
Mr. Shockley,
Yes.
Ms. Wheeler,
Yes.
Ms. Clark,
Yes.
Mr. Bates.
Yes, and the resolution is approved. Item 11 is a resolution 2020 R85. Ms. Miller.
A resolution of council authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract to furnish the city's Public Works Department with one 25 cubic yard packer truck.
Mr. Chair, I move for adoption.
Mr. Chairman, I'll second the motion.
Okay, it's been moved by Mr. Klemper and seconded by Bishop Shaw. And Mr. Ensko is here to speak with us. Happy New Year, Mr. Ensko.
Happy New Year, Mr. Chairman, members of council, and thank you for the last 4 years of all your support for Public Works. Before you is a resolution to purchase a new garbage truck, a 25-yard packer truck. The low bidder was West Virginia Tractor out of Charleston, West Virginia, in the amount of $153,200. It'll be paid for out of the capital outlay equipment, motor equipment. We should receive this, if approved, probably September at the earliest. So that's why we try to get them ordered as quickly as we can.
Okay. Any questions of Mr. Ensko from those members present? Those members calling in, any questions for Mr. Ensko on the item?
No questions.
No.
Okay.
No.
The Administration and Finance Committee did meet on this item and does send to full council a favorable recommendation. Ms. Miller, was there any public comment on this item?
No, sir.
Okay, with that being said, would you call the roll, please?
Yes, sir. Mr. Klimper?
Yes.
Mr. McComas is absent. Mr. McGuffin?
Yes.
Ms. Page?
Yes.
Ms. Poland?
Yes.
Bishop Shaw?
Yes.
Mr. Shockley?
Yes.
Ms. Wheeler?
Yes.
Ms. Clark?
Yes.
Ms. Howe?
Yes.
Mr. Bates?
Yes, and the resolution is approved. Item 12 is a resolution 2020 R89. Ms. Miller.
A resolution of council authorizing the mayor to apply for a Foundation for the Tri-State Grant on behalf of the A.D. Lewis Community Center and Fairfield East Community Center.
Mr. Chairman, I move for the adoption.
I'll second.
It's been moved by Ms. Poland, seconded by Mr. Shockley, and Ms. Burns is here to speak to us on it. Ms. Burns, good evening and
Chairman.
Happy New Year.
Hi, thank you. Chairman, members of council, this is an application that was prepared by our development staff member, Ben Newhouse. It's applying for up to $5,000 to supply both the A.D. Lewis Community Center and the Fairfield East Community Center with ADA door openers. And the application is due no later than January the 10th.
Questions of Ms. Burns on the item? Those members present, those members calling in, any questions for Ms. Burns on this item?
No. No.
No questions.
No.
Okay. The Administration and Finance Committee met earlier this evening and sent this item to the full council with a favorable recommendation. As this was advertised last week, Ms. Miller, was there any public comment on this item?
No, sir.
None at all? Then would you call the roll, please?
Item number 12, Mr. McGuffin?
Yes.
Ms. Page?
Yes.
Ms. Poland?
Yes.
Bishop Shaw?
Yes.
Mr. Shockley?
Yes.
Ms. Wheeler?
Yes.
Ms. Clark?
Yes.
Ms. Howe?
Yes.
Mr. Klimper?
Yes.
Mr. McComas is absent. Mr. Bates?
Yes, and the resolution is approved. Before we move forward, it's been brought to my attention that there's some errors on item 13. Mr. Dameron, would you like to talk to us about this for just a second?
So we just picked up that it's not actual error. The item number 13 didn't have the second page.
Oh,
I don't know if everybody else is like that, but
Okay.
both mine and the mayor's didn't have it.
okay. I apologize, and I will make sure that you get.
Well,
this.
I mean, does everybody else, I mean, we're okay as long as you have it
You,
and the council members have it.
I do have it.
I tell
That
you
would
what,
be the
let's-
Republicans voting.
Let's take a 5-minute recess to give Ms. Miller time to print those for us so that we have them, and then, would that be okay? You have it?
Is that the page in question?
You have it? Okay. Can I have it?
Yep.
All right. Does anyone else need to see the second page? There's a third page. Oh, yeah, there's a third page.
A third page, no.
Yeah, let's take a 5-minute recess so that we can have that before we take up the item, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
If you want to leave us on the air, just
I'm double dutying with that. Let me turn this off.
Okay, sorry for that delay. We are back in session. Item 13 is a resolution, 2020 R90. Ms. Miller, would you read into the record, please?
Make sure I have the right one. Oops. A resolution of council certifying the results of the municipal general election held on the third day of November 2020 in Cabell County, West Virginia.
Ms. Clark?
I move for the adoption.
Mr. Chairman, I second.
Okay, we
I
have
second it.
Mr. Shockley seconds. Okay, the chair would entertain a motion to substitute our document. It was missing a page. And so Ms. Miller has provided us here with all that information. And so I need a motion to amend with the new document.
Mr. Chair, I move to amend, to
Okay.
accept the amendment.
I'll move to amend.
Okay, we'll let Ms. Clark move to amend. Will you second that, Mr. Klemper? And Mr. Klemper seconds. Okay, all those in favor of the, I'm sorry, would you call the roll for the amended document, Ms. Miller?
To amend, yes, sir. Item number 13. We're going to start with Ms. Page,
Yes.
Ms. Poland,
Yes.
Bishop Shaw,
Yes.
Mr. Shockley,
Yes.
Ms. Wheeler,
Yes.
Ms. Clark,
Yes.
Ms. Howe,
Yes.
Mr. Klemper,
Yes.
Mr. McComas is absent, Mr. McGuffin,
Yes.
Mr. Bates,
Yes, and the item is amended. Okay, Ms. Miller, would you like to explain to those at home what we have before us here?
yes, sir. On the papers provided for the amendment are listed the candidates who ran for the mayor, city council at large, District 2, District 3, District 4, District 5, District 6, District 7, last page, District 8, and District 9. It has both the Democratic and Republican parties listed on it, and the total votes received by each candidate.
Okay, and any questions of members present on the item? Questions? Those calling in, do you have any questions
No.
on the item?
No. No.
Okay. Ms. Miller, was there any public comment on this item?
No, sir.
Okay. Would you call the roll, please?
Certainly. Item 13. We're going to start with Ms. Poland,
Yes.
Bishop Shaw,
Yes.
Mr. Shockley,
Yes.
Ms. Wheeler,
Yes.
Ms. Clark,
Yes.
Ms. Howe,
Yes.
Mr. Klemper,
Yes.
Mr. McComas is absent, Mr. McGuffin,
Yes.
Ms. Page,
Yes.
Mr. Bates,
Yes, and the resolution is approved. Item 14 is the resolution 2020 R91. Ms. Miller.
a resolution of council certifying the results of the municipal general election held on the third day of November 2020 in Wayne County, West Virginia.
Ms. Clark.
I move for the adoption.
I'll second.
Mr. Shockley seconds. Ms. Miller, would you explain to those listening at home what this document is for?
It is certifying the election of the Wayne County portion of Huntington municipal election. It has listed on it the Democratic and Republican parties, the votes for mayor, city council, at large, and city council District 1.
Okay. Any questions on the item, those members present? Nothing? Those calling in, any questions?
No. No. No.
Okay. Ms. Miller, was there any public comment on this item?
No, sir.
Okay. Would you call the roll, please?
Item number 14, yes, sir. Bishop Shaw,
Yes.
Mr. Shockley,
Yes.
Ms. Wheeler,
Yes.
Ms. Clark,
Yes.
Ms. Howe,
Yes.
Mr. Klemper,
Yes.
Mr. McComas is absent, Mr. McGuffin,
Yes.
Ms. Page,
Yes.
Ms. Poland,
Yes.
Mr. Bates.
Yes, and the resolution is approved. Item 15 is good and welfare. I'm going to start with my friends calling in from home. Ms. Clark, good and welfare.
Nothing, thank you.
Ms. Howe,
I want to say thank you to the voters and the people that served us the last 12 years. And it was a pleasure and a privilege to do so. And I hope that I can be remembered in the future if I come back for more votes. Thank you.
thank you, Ms. Howe. Mr. McGuffin,
Thank everyone. I really appreciate everything you've done.
thank you, sir. Ms. Page,
Yes, I just want to send a shout out to everyone on City Council. I'm thankful at how well we worked together these last 4 years because we came into a mess, but we made it into magic. And I'd like to thank everybody who supported the projects that we had done in Fairfield, East, West. We couldn't have done it without the whole council. And I just want to thank you and the mayor and everyone else. And I also thank you because we have become friends.
yes.
It didn't matter whether we were Democrat or Republican. We became friends, and that's a good thing. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Ms. Page. Ms. Wheeler,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think I would be remiss not to acknowledge that that many of you are moving on in a different direction from council, and I just want to say that it's certainly been an interesting time for all of us. I think we all know, and as the mayor alluded earlier in his reports, that not only have we had some really good times, but we've also had some really challenging times. And when it comes to public service, we all know it can at times be thankless. And I've been known to say that if you enjoy it all the time, then you're not doing it right. So I hope that this has been an enjoyable experience for everyone. I know it has been for me. I've enjoyed working with so many of you and appreciate all of your service. Thank you.
thank you, Ms. Wheeler. Mr. Klemper?
Yes, I've enjoyed my 16 months here. It's been very, very enjoyable. I've enjoyed working with everyone. Maybe someday we'll be back.
Ms. Poland?
Thank you, Chairman Bates. I would like to thank the two most special people that really are the glue that hold this group together, and that's our own Barbara Miller and Lisa Adkins. And the clerks for council, they really do coordinate everything. They make us all look great, as does the administration and all the department heads. Service is a wonderful thing, and we have pastors that come, and they have successfully, I think, prayed for us every month since we've been here these last 48 months. And I gratefully appreciate that, because I think that through the different faiths that have come together, just as the different political parties have came together, we've worked together, we've prayed together, we've laughed together, we've cried together, and it's been a great experience for me, and I appreciate the citizens. Thank you, and thank you, Mr. Chairman. Well led.
Bishop?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would also like to say that I really appreciate the opportunity to serve on city council, to serve the citizens of Huntington, West Virginia in this capacity. My service will continue, because my whole life has been about serving people. And as the chairman, Mr. Council, Chairman, I thank you for your leadership, and then to the council as a whole. Ones I see sitting around here that when they interviewed us to fill an unexpired term, I deem you, as well as the ones at home, as the wisest council that ever existed in Huntington, because you selected me. But I sincerely thank you so much for all you have done. This will go down in my personal bio history as one of my greatest feats, and I appreciate you so much, and God's love continue with you. Thank you, sir.
Ms. Shockley?
Absolutely. Just to kind of keep on the thank you trend. Yeah, I'd like to thank everyone that served with me this past 4 years on council. Several of you have been mentors to me. As Jennifer mentioned earlier, we were kind of new to this whole thing. The mayor talked about it. We kind of grew together as a council. Mark, it's been a pleasure to be your vice chairman the last 2 years, even though it has been a cush job since you never miss. But thank you for your leadership, your friendship. Just because tonight ends doesn't mean that I won't call you in situations to get your opinion, as always. So same goes with Joyce and everyone else that is listening from home. So here's to 4 more years, and Jennifer and I helping mold new council members for the next 4 years. And along with the mayor, the administration, I think we have something to move forward with, and look forward to it. So thank everyone for District 7 for putting me back in this spot for 4 more years. And guys, it's been real.
Well, I'll just finish it up and echo what Carol had said about Barb and Lisa and their hard work. And Lisa came on in that first year that I was on city council, and Barb's been here the entire time, and it's been a pleasure working with them. And they've had they do a lot of our extra little work for us, all 11 of us, and it's very much appreciated what they've done. And to echo as well, the clergy that comes in and helps pray with us and give us words of encouragement, and to my backup clergy that came in during COVID-19 when we didn't know what we were going to do. My friend, thank you for your service there as well. Again, I just want to thank each and every one of you, all my former council members who I've served with, and Mayor, your friendship, the friendship of a lot of people here at City Hall. And anyway, with that being said, thank you. And is there a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
Thank you, everyone. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.